All right, everyone, welcome back to the third episode. We are going to go through the next 10 to 15 minutes doing No Dice by Tipper, kind of a remix. We're just kind of creating a template based on the simple ideas that Tipper is doing in the song No Dice at 100 BPM. As you can see inside our session view here in Ableton Live, we have our three tracks. And what I did in my downtime recently was this Buster synth wasn't the exact tone I wanted. So I'm going to go in and put in some new sounds. And I did a little research on two things. It took me about 5 or 10 minutes to find the right synth, and I labeled them with this. I did control right click and put them in my synth favorites area so I can just come in really quick and put them in. So there's one of them, choir, and then the glowing choir female. And I want these to both play at the same time. So I'm going to engage. So right now I have it set to only record one when I click on it. If you press the command key, you can record both. There's a setting in your preferences that you can change that to record multiple up front or just record one at a time. I personally put it to record one at a time so I don't accidentally record over specific tracks. It's a little more intentional to have to press command to record two at a time. The next thing I did in some prep for this third session is I made sure that I had the right key. And I was hearing the tone C sharp, and I thought it was the key of C sharp minor, but that's actually the 5 chord. The key, I believe it actually is F sharp minor, and the 5 is the sustain. So I put a little note right here in my master file in the upper right hand corner. And this really just allows me to just have more of an understanding of the theory behind the song. All right, so let's go ahead and play a little bit of the Tipper No Dice. Here's the track. All right, a bunch of really cool sound effects that Tipper does. What we're focusing on right now is just that overtone. I'm going to just play this one overtone right here. It's really not what we're going for. Sounds way different. However, if we bring in this overtone, sounds a lot more like it. All right? And I'm playing that C sharp minor. I want to make it to where this sustains constantly by bringing out the entire track. And just go ahead and copy that in over here so they both have them. All right, so there we have a little bit more of that nice overtone. The next two things that I feel we're missing is the bass and some of the sound effects. They have some shakers and some really cool kick transitions. This is going to take some time in arrangement view to customize some of these parts. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and do a quick transition to arrangement view. You can also just record into arrangement, but what I like to do is select all of them by selecting the one on the left. Right, I'll do this one more time. Selecting this one on the left and then pressing Shift and then clicking the one on the right. They're all selected. Command C to copy them. Pressing Tab over to arrangement view. I'm going to make a little bit more room here. I like to press Set over here and make a marker. to where I know where I'm at. And then I'm just going to copy and paste from the very top all of the tracks. This function right here, this engages the arrangement view to be heard versus the other. And then I just make sure that all of these are the same length. And what you're doing here is it's automatically set up to where it's taking the loop, right? It's taking the loop of the session view and just looping the parts out. So it should just continue. So they're all the same length to play. And I'll just do one example of the stutter kick. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in by pressing the plus function. It used to be shift plus, but you can now just press plus or the equals, and it zooms in. I'm using a Mac for all of you that are curious around my shortcut keys, because the PC might be a little bit different. So here we are. Let's go ahead and listen to this. All right, so we're seeing that this bottom note right here is our kick. Let's go ahead and expand out down below and listen one more time. All right, so what we're going to want to do is just take one portion of this. We don't want to adjust this entire loop, okay? We're just going to be doing one portion of this loop. So I'm going to cut this and make a new loop. And so how I cut that is Command E, and that will cut it to where I can take the beat out. And now I'm working with a shorter loop right here in my bottom left-hand corner. And this is where I'm going to go Command D, duplicate, and that's where we're going to have the stutter. All right. Right now it's set to 1/16. You can see that in the bottom left-hand corner. If you go Command 1, it gets even tighter to 32nd note. Command 2 gets larger to grid. So I'm going to go to 32nd note so that I can paint in even quicker notes. Here we go. All right, so there's a breakdown. And since we're extending out a little bit farther with everything else, we will bring our other parts to do the same. So let's go ahead and listen back to the tipper. It's nice to always go back to your reference track and see if it's sounding anything like what we're going for. A lot of overtones. So we're going to have to fill it out quite a different. A lot of effects. There's a lot of reverses going on. I'd probably say there's at least 4 more synth tones. Dropping out the kick and snare. And coming back in again. noticing the very relaxed bass, an easy bass line to follow. Let's go ahead and do that bass line. All right, we're gonna do the bass line. And what I wanna do is just bring this break part back into the song. So what I'm gonna do is put some markers again on both sides. And let's go ahead and copy down, selecting all of them, right? I'm selecting up here by clicking and then going to the bottom of all of my tracks and Shift plus, right? Sorry, Shift and then you're clicking your mouse again, copying into a new scene, okay? And paste, boom. Notice how one part is missing. It is our drums dropped down a little bit lower. And I believe that's because it starts off with nothing and then comes in with it right here. So let's go ahead and duplicate that down, Command D, and listen in. All right. All right, so that break happens over and over again. And what we're going to do now is bring in, right after that, the regular beat. So copying the top one, Command C, and then dropping it onto the next one down, and duplicating our other ones. So I'm going to name this right here, Command R, name this kick break, right? And then above that is no drums. That's another breakdown. I want this to come in right away. All of these sounds. So let's do that one more time. There we go. All right, so we have the ability to have that breakdown. All right, and then this glass can actually come out on the next one to allow for some more space of a new tone. And let's change that to have. There we go, our breakdown. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be doing our bass here as our last portion of today, our 10 to 15 minutes. Creating a new MIDI track, Command Shift T. And then I'm going to go in and right now I only have these two bass tones. And I think that a more real bass, actually the bass-a-lele that I have downstairs might work. So I might just play that instead of the electric bass. But let's find out some tones. All right, so not really hearing the exact thing I want, but for now, I'll put something in here and then eventually we will get down the one that we really want. But this could be a good placeholder. We can always bring a new instrument in at any point. let's listen to that bass line in the middle of the song that I was trying to copy. Boom. There we go. All right, something like that. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and play that on our track. Going back into Ableton here. And let's play this bottom one. All right. So in the very beginning, I didn't come in right away with what I wanted. So let's go ahead and click on the bottom here and customize this, bringing it to where I want it to start and end. Let's bring this up and then fold down to just the notes, right? So this fold function really helps clean that up to see the notes exactly. And also it shows the names of the notes, which is great. That's a new function. If you want to clean this up, you can also go select all by Command A and then Command Shift U brings up this function to quantize. I'm not going to do that right now because I have some tones that I want to stay sliding. So here we go. Customizing. Taking it off grid, Command 4, sliding this over so it slides in. There we go. All right, so I was using my ear to copy this bass line right here in Tipper. All right, I'm noticing he's doing only the downbeats. I was doing offs. So let's simplify this. Right here, let's go ahead and bring that out and back. All right, so downbeats. All right. Bring those all to the downs. Pretty simple. And listen one more time to what we're doing. Ah. That drops. One lower. There it is. All right, so when you customize these, you can always change them to exactly how you want. All right, so we got our bass in there. Next up is customizing some of your different parts. We've already done a few amalgamations in our session view over here, and we're going to be going back into arrangement view to customize some of the drum effects and sound effects on the next session. Thanks for being with us. My name is Justin Anchetta. And if you like what you see, please go to sf.garnishmusicproduction.com. And we have a bunch of classes in person and online going on. Have a great day.